All right, in New York City today, the first Trump family member took the witness stand in the $250 million civil fraud case against former President Trump. Donald Trump Jr. took the stand and made it clear he's not an accountant or an expert, he said, on the Trump organization's finances. At one point, he said his knowledge is limited to what he learned in Accounting 101. Lawyers for the prosecution accused the former president and his family of purposely inflating their father's wealth in order to get lower taxes and better insurance. Donald Trump Jr. is with the company, a very leading role in the company, and has denied any wrongdoing thus far. NewsNation's Laura Ingle was in the courtroom when Don Jr. took the stand. She's live in New York City. It appeared he was relaxed.
Good evening, Elizabeth. It really did. You know, he came in and he left with a smile, at times having his hands in his pocket. And when he was up on the witness stand, he didn't seem angry. He just answered the questions as directed today. And as you mentioned there at the top, you know, he was talking about what his involvement was with all of his father's financials and documents. And he basically said that while he was, and let's remember his title is the executive vice president of the family's Trump organization, and is also a trustee of the trust that was set up to watch over the former president's money while he was in the White House. He said he certainly signed off on documents, but he was never in charge of the actual numbers, that they had accountants to handle those sorts of things, kind of describing this army of accountants that handled all of the money and the line items, and he signed off on a lot of that. They also put up some documents up on the big screen. We saw some emails. We saw some other documents that showed his signature. He confirmed, yes, that's my signature. He confirmed what his father's signature looked like, but really, all in all, said that while he took an overall look at what was going on, he didn't dig into the details. And that is, of course, one of the key issues here of this case is how much was he involved in preparing those financial statements that are at issue in this civil fraud case.
All right, Laura Ingle, will he be back on the stand tomorrow?
Yeah, he's not done, and it really kind of felt like there's a lot more to go with him. But we have heard from the court that not only is he going to be on the stand tomorrow, but we're also expected to see Eric Trump take the stand and testify tomorrow as well. So it'll be a big day.
All right. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.